look, I think a lot of even positive Rangers fans would have accepted that Club Brugge were the favourites. Rangers might not get through this tie, but I think even the most pessimistic fan would have been shocked by the opening 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is a game that I think a significant number of Rangers fans sort of feared the worst coming into. But I don't think anyone foresaw the absolutely shambolic nature of that first 20 minutes. I mean, everything that could have went wrong did go wrong in that first 20 minutes. You're talking about, we were here at the weekend to see the Alloa game, which we conceded one of the messiest goals you'll ever see. I think they superseded that with the opening goal they lost here tonight. I mean, Shambles doesn't cover it. I mean, long ball over the top. Giga's in control. Just has to sort of knock it back to Butland. But he looks up, sees Butland coming, and just stops running. But in the split second that he stops moving, Jack Butland pauses, hesitates, starts backpedaling. Meanwhile, the Bruce players left in, 10 seconds to pick his spot and just calmly lobs it over it. I mean, and that right from the off, Ibrox has been a pretty toxic place this season. But wow, the reaction that goal got, just the sheer chaotic nature of it, produced quite the outburst, and things get worse. 3 minutes later, corner, somebody standing free in the box and knocks it into the net, and then get to 20 minutes. Just as Rangers are trying to rally, they're trying to build some momentum. Joe Rothwell heads a ball, a sort of loose ball, clear from his box. Danilo should have really been onto it, took care of it, but he's soft, he's control, and again it lets Bruges in, and what a strike it is to beat Jack Butland. And at half time, I was on blog duty tonight, as well as the Man by Man ratings. And I wrote at that point, you had to start seriously worrying about Russell Martin, because this is a guy that came in not to the most how should we say warmest reception from the Rangers supporter. I think the best you could say it was lukewarm. A lot of people were sceptical of his record down the road with MK Dons, with Swansea, with Southampton. Didn't think he had enough of a winning record to justify him being the Rangers manager. But quickly that has turned to outright hostility. I mean, when we sit in the gantry, I mean, maybe we're flavoured by the reaction of the people sitting around us, but it was, frothing. I mean, they were furious. They could not believe what they were watching. I think, it's one of these things that they talk about. One of the tenets of coaching a team of football is, when you're defending, you want to be, like a closed fist. You want your players all tucked in tight, and then when you're attacking, you want them to spread wide and get themselves out and make the use of the space in the pitch. It was opposite with Rangers at times.
I was going to say
they are on top of each other, trying to build up play. No movement, so slow. John Suter, when he's trying to build up, just taking an age to release his passes, and all it does is allow Bruce to shuffle and get back into shape. And then when they're trying to defend, they are wide open. You could drive up, not just a bus, a fleet of buses through the Rangers midfield and defence at times. So, listen, obviously they get a goal back through Danilo in the second half. Really unlucky not to get a second one. A few of the boys sitting around me were flapping right in their match reports, because they'd spent the previous 80 minutes pretty much picking apart this Rangers performance. Didn't quite see a stirring comeback in it, but I must say, I mean, I think Rangers would have been really fortunate if they'd get into more than one goal back tonight. I just didn't think, even though they improved second half, that first half was so bad that they have. I think Russell Martin's got some real concerns about where him and his team are going right now, because heading to Paisley on Sunday, we all know that's been a difficult venue for Rangers. They lost to that team twice last season. If they trip up there, then he is in big bother.
Well, Andy, I wanted to ask you about the team selection, but before I do that, we've got some comments on Russell Martin. And if you're watching at home, please get involved in the conversation. We'll try and read out your comments. I'm actually really a bit surprised, Andy, at how vociferous the comments are towards Martin. I mean, Luke is a regular Rangers fan. He says, fans want him out, and at your next press conference, you need to tell them that they want him out now. John says the sooner the 49ers realise they've dropped a clanger by appointing Martin, they can start another rebuild. Sean says 5 games coming up. Will Martin see them all? And Paul says, is the St Mirren game at the weekend a must-win for Russell Martin? Are we already in that territory, Andy?
I think so, because of how vociferous the reaction has been here. I mean, put it this way, I think, listen, if you are dropping points and end up they're already 4 points behind Celtic and other teams at the top of the table. If they were to fall any further behind before, the kids have just basically been back to school this week. And, the end of the first week of term, if you're 6, 7, maybe 9 points behind, I mean that is just 6 or 7 points behind. That is just incredible. So I think he is. I think he is in real trouble here. I think he needs a reaction, and a reaction quick. Whether that's enough to get them through in the Champions League, I'm not so sure. Listen, I think going what I saw tonight, Europa League was definitely a kinder environment for this team.